Welcome to Molineux on a truly historic occasion. The first time in 17 years, Wolverhampton Wanderers have reached the quarter-final stage of the FA Youth Cup to face a Brighton team standing in their way of a possible semi-final against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Steve Davis has selected the same starting lineup that beat Tottenham here in the last round. Some huge experienced names amongst it, many of them playing under-23s football regularly this campaign. Look out for Nathan Fraser, who turned 17 this week, to lead the lineup top. Tyler Roberts, who's been scoring regularly in this competition and at this level, not just this season, but for the last couple of years too. Up against a Brighton team who have a couple of players to look out for, especially Zach Emerson, who has been in amongst the starting levels of first team at Brighton and Hove Albion. They will provide a much sterner test than Tottenham did in the last round. But this is a Wolves team who have grown in confidence as this competition has progressed. They are used to playing with each other as a group, and hopefully they can produce on the grand stage of Molineux once more. Alongside me is Wolves Academy coach Darren Ryan, and Darren, you'll have seen these boys week in, week out, day in, day out for a long time now. That man on our screen, Steve Davis, you work alongside him too. There'll be a touch of nerves perhaps, but they've got to put that beyond them and get the performance right.
Yeah, I think, you know, another opportunity to play on, on Molineux, and they've had that opportunity through this cup run against Salford and Tottenham. So, the lads have prepared well. Steve and James have prepared them really well for the Brighton challenge. And like you said, I think it's going to be a more physical game today. They're expecting against a really good Brighton team.
Well, they comfortably beat Salford in the third round. They needed penalties to get past Crystal Palace in the fourth, and then a comfortable win over Tottenham in the fifth round last time out. Now the opportunity is there for those in old gold to put themselves in amongst a batch of players that included Wayne Hennessy and Mark Davis the last time Wolves got to this stage of the competition. There have been plenty of good players who've come through the ranks in the years since then. None have made it as far as this group. Early touch for Justin Hubner, who's developing as a central defender, pretty much a regular for the under-23s now. He will not be afraid to stick his boot in from time to time.
No, definitely. He's a very physical player, Justin. Like I said, he's developing really well. We're really happy on the progression Justin's making this season.
Tipton was the man making that challenge. It'll be a Wolves ball as they try and get to grips with things early on. All about the way they approach things, all about the way they adapt to the team that they're up against. And Kito Diyawa back to Justin Hubner, looking for Fraser. Offside flag has gone up against him as Roberts was hoping to try and burst through. So many of these boys, Darren, will have played together for a number of years really. There have been one or two that have come in and joined the group, but they seem quite a solid unit.
Yeah, majority of them have come through the academy system from under 8, so it's great to see them now in the quarterfinals of an FA Youth Cup. I'm just looking at the shape of the Brighton team, and I know Steve and James, they've played a few shapes, 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1. I think they've set up in the 4-2-3-1 to obviously try and get our 3-4-3 off balance.
Well, the charge down came from Andy Moran, but Whistle able to turn and look for Fraser. His 17th birthday this week. He looks bigger than a 17-year-old, doesn't he? A real physical frame on Nathan Fraser. Born and raised stone's throw for Molineux. Griffiths winning the throw. But whistle to leave it for Lembakisa. Fraser, Roberts and Griffiths all as options. Goes to Fraser. Quite get control of it. Candola infield to Tipton. Tipton looking for that long ball. Couldn't quite get Lembakisa in behind, but it was a fruitful move in the last round, getting Lembakisa high up the field. Emerson under pressure from Tipton, and Tipton did well. Good strong defending from the Wolves captain. Candola trying to run it clear. Lembakisa going in there. Fraser couldn't hang on, but he's managed to dig the ball out. Oh, that was a little bit unfortunate. That's fairly physical so far.
Yeah, I think that Steve and James were expecting a more physical game, like I said at the beginning, than the Tottenham game. So it's important, and 1v1 duels are going to be really important in today's game.
It was a little bit awkward for a moment there for Palmy Aaron Bjornsson. The way the ball just maybe coming down out of the sunshine. I think it was intended as a cross rather than a shot. Knew where his lines were. This is Tipton for Wolves. Looking downfield. We'll find Hubner. Tipton under pressure from Moran. Candola to Griffiths. Fraser had shown short. Here's the element of the way Wolves set up. They try and mirror the first team, all different levels.
Yes, definitely. You know, obviously the 3-4-3 system, and it's important that when it goes into Nathan that we have support in and around him. Like I say, I think we've started off quite well.
Lembakisa was the man winning possession, taken away from him by Zach Sturge. Lee Kavanagh out to the right hand side to the Swede Kasper Nielsen. Fraser was back there challenging. It's going to come to Sami Kashane. Griffiths to Kito Diawa. Roberts, that was a heavy challenge. Roberts looking for Fraser. There'll be another Wolves ball. So what kind of messages will Steve have been saying to the team in that dressing room, Darren?
I think, like I say, you always want to start the game and try and, really on a positive note. And like I say, to try and play in their half in the first 10 minutes. Because, like I say, it takes about 10 minutes for the game to settle down and to get a bit of rhythm into the game.
Chase is on, and it was well won by Justin Hubner, who for a moment looked like he was under real pressure from Elliot Jenks. I say he's an impressive talent, Justin Hubner. Candola looking for Lembakisa, drops the shoulder nicely. Players in the penalty area couldn't quite pick them out. Kito Diawa having a go. Roberts. Oh, now that big opportunity, that's got to be, it's a penalty. Kito Diawa kept it alive, and Tyler Roberts with a clever touch, knowing the challenge was coming. Massive chance to go in front in this tie.
Yeah, really good play by Dexter down this right-hand side. And that's the importance of getting your opposite wing back in the front line as well. So, Aaron is at the back post, and he regains possession, and like you say, great play by Tinks just to manipulate the ball in the box, and obviously we get the penalty now.
Well, Oliver Tipton has a phenomenal record at taking penalties at under 18s and under 23 level. He scored a big penalty away at Birmingham in the Premier League 2 under 23s this season. Can he score from the spot? Up against Tommy Reed in the Brighton goal. It's Tipton. Sends him the wrong way. Perfect finish. And Wolves lead in the FA Youth Cup quarter-final.
Fantastic start for us. And now, like you say, hope the game settles down and then we can build on this 1-0 lead.
The composure, all those hours spent on the training ground, working on his spot kicks. He likes to think he's a penalty specialist. He has missed this season as well. I didn't want to mention it beforehand, Daz.
Yeah, he has, to be fair, but he has scored a few over the last couple of seasons, really, in the 18s and in the 23s. But he does strike a good penalty.
And what a lift it will give to the team. They have started strongly.
Yeah, it's been a good start. Like I say, we just had that one ball that they played long and Justin dealt with it, but it's been a really positive and aggressive start by us.
And now they have something to protect and hang on to as well. And the onus will be on Brighton to try and take the game to Wolves a little bit more. Lee Kavanagh for Brighton. Wolves in that situation now, Darren Ryan, where don't do anything silly for 5, 10, 15 minutes.
No, you're right. We've got to keep it tight and, like I said, try and get a bit of control into the game, like we have done in the first, 5 to 10 minutes. Like I said, I keep saying to it, when the game does settle down.
It doesn't seem to have done so yet, does it? That's the way it's gone so far. What a good 10 minutes it's been. Sturridge trying to work it down that left-hand side. So there was a good couple of hundred, I think, here for the last round. All the supporters in the bottom of the Billy Wright stand. Candola with the block on Emerson. Shani was one of those making the run towards Sturridge. This is Andy Moran. Has to switch it to Casper Nielsen. Good pressure being applied. Kashane on the turn though, and it's clipped a little bit by Fraser. Brighton were thinking about trying to take it quickly there, and they will do. Trying to catch Wolves napping a little bit. This is Joshua Duffus. Sturge's delivery. Aaron Bjornsson came, didn't get there, and Brighton are level. Wolves didn't deal with the ball into the penalty area, and Emerson rose highest. And they weren't behind for long. Wolves won, Brighton won.
Yeah, disappointing. Like we said, you just, lacked a bit of concentration. They get the switch from the throw-in first, and then obviously a free kick. They take it quick, and then they obviously get the overload on the outside and get the cross in. So disappointing to concede literally straight after we've scored.
Aaron Bjornsson just lost it in the flight. Zach Emerson was there to pounce. Tipton with the big high ball forwards, and this is always the element of football at this level, that these players are learning and developing, and sometimes, Darren Ryan, they learn the hard way.
Yeah, it's a lesson to be learned. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, we didn't. You know, they got out of the throw pretty easy and got the switch on us, and we've got to do better on the, especially on the throw-ins, and stop them switching the play.
Nobody ever thought it was going to be easy. And it has proved to be, as Fraser goes charging in. Wolves are firmly mid-table, 8th of 14 in the Under-18 Premier League North. Brighton, meanwhile, exactly the same position, 8th of 14 in Premier League South. Southampton top Premier League South, then West Ham, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Arsenal and Fulham. Wolves are above the likes of Manchester United, Newcastle, Leeds, Man City topping the table, just ahead of Liverpool.
Yeah, what we find with the Under-18s league is that, you know, a lot of our younger players playing that, and it becomes an Under-17s team. Like you said, before, our Under-23s, a lot of these players play for our Under-23s, and that's literally an Under-19s team.
Yeah, Wolves ever so slightly older in terms of average age of the starting lineups today, but they are exactly the same in terms of the average age of the 18 selected for either side. Quite usually an Under-23 level. Wolves are a good year or two below their opponents. Oh, Aaron Bjornsson, was he outside the penalty area? The assistant referee had a really good view. Maybe he wasn't quite in line with it, certainly from where we were. Looked like he was outside the area there.
I think that's very close. Be interesting to see that one again. But, you know, very close on being outside.
Yes, Griffiths out-muscled by Emerson. Brighton are just building a bit of momentum here. Flag's going to go up against Duffus. Well, Aaron Bjornsson just needs to settle himself down a little bit. I'll get a replay of it here. Oh my word, that is close.
I think it's on the line. I'm going for just inside.
I will agree with you on the basis we're on Wolves TV. I'm less convinced.
Yeah, I think we've just got to settle down. I think the goals knocked our rhythm a little bit, so we've just got to get a little bit of control back in the game now and have a spell in possession.
He played for the Under-23s on Tuesday at Hensford. Aaron Bjornsson in the 2-0 defeat to Exeter in the Premier League Cup, and he had a couple of moments in the first half where he came charging out of his penalty area there, and it was noticeable that Tony Roberts, the first team goalkeeper coach who was there on the day, went and spent the second half sat behind his goal, able to talk to him through the game.
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be a goalkeeper thing. They're not involved in the game a lot, like the outfield, and they think that sometimes they've got to get involved in the game. But like you said, he just needs to settle down now, and I think the whole team needs to settle down.
Fraser, felt like he should have had a free kick, but Wolves continue on. Number Kisa's ball. Stooping header clear was by Nielsen. Candola's header. Griffiths trying to flick on. Intercepted by Hinchelwood. First quarter of an hour has absolutely flown by in this FA Youth Cup quarter-final. So Manchester United beat Leicester on Thursday night. They await the winners of this tie. And Bakisa with a block. Chelsea are already through the other side of the draw. Phenomenal recent record in the last decade at FA Youth Cup level for Chelsea. List of some of the names who've won this competition: Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Reece James. all lifted this trophy in the last 10 years. This is Sturge. Rory McConville. Brighton just dictating things a little bit more now, making Wolves work. Shane, Moran, Sturge, Duffus. Candola challenging, but Duffus has got away from him. And it needed that interception from Tipton, and what a good one it was.
Yeah, really good defending there by Tippo. Like I say, Cam, he makes the first initial challenge, but then gets beaten a 1v1 again. And like you said, Brighton having a bit of possession now. You just want to make sure that we're really compact when we're in our defensive shape.
Yeah, Candola just allowed himself to be beaten on the byline. Might have seen, I think it was Harry Birtwistle crashing into Aaron Bjornsson off the ball. Goalkeeper comes, didn't quite get there. It's difficult, and it was away by Candola. But back into that danger zone, and this time away by Justin Hubner. And Wolves finding it difficult with those high deliveries into the penalty area at the moment. He made that decision to come and try and punch, and Kashane got there in front of him, and luckily for Palmy Aaron Bjornsson, he had some teammates there to help him out.
Yeah, it's like I say, when the keeper comes for them, you know you've got to come and get something on the ball.
Here's Roberts. Looked like he was being held back for a second. He will get the throw though. Seems to have been around at this level for so long, Tyler Roberts. He's only just really getting his breakthrough into the 23s. He played really well in a 2-2 draw with Swansea in the Premier League Cup a couple of weeks ago. Picked up a little bit of a knock in that game and has kind of been protected for these matches since then.
Yeah, he's all action, Tyler is, and like I say, he's a threat. Especially like you say in them wide areas when he's left at 1v1.
Well, he did well to find Griffiths, who couldn't quite work it to Lembakisa. I wondered whether the chance was on there to maybe have a strike for Harvey Griffiths. He's looking for Lembakisa again, awkward bounce, and cross came McConville. Better for Wolves though in the last couple of minutes. Old and young, different generations here to watch the under-18s, the next generation of Wolves stars potentially. Birtwistle trying to challenge. Tipton all the way back to Alan Bjornsson. Tipton's managed to find Kito Diawa. Roberts is there as an option short, trying to deliver it in. Oh, it was just too high for Fraser. Oh, and then Birtwistle and Lembakisa seem to rather leave it for each other. Somebody just needed to take control of that situation.
Yeah, good play again. Good pass out to Aaron from Tippo and a good early cross in. And it was good to see, bodies in the box as well. But like you say, somebody to take control.
Who takes responsibility there? The man with his back to goal or the man coming onto it?
I think it's the man coming onto it. I think he can see the goal more than the man who's obviously got his back to goal. So there just needs to be a bit of communication.
It's a bright moment, though. Brighton in the sunshine, looking for a bright moment of their own, and Candola is there. Fraser, good strength from Nathan Fraser. Couldn't quite hang on to the ball, though. Duffus for Sturge. This time Candola with a foot in. You were telling me beforehand, Candola used to be a striker when he first arrived.
Yeah, his early part of his journey in the academy, he was a striker with Tyler Roberts, and I remember him scoring loads of goals in that foundation phase early years.
Who makes that decision? Is the player involved in that, saying, actually, no, we think you're better off somewhere else?
It's a two-way decision. I think, like I say, we play a lot of players in different positions, do you know what I mean, to get, it's part of their development.
Fraser getting onto the mistake. Nathan Fraser with the opportunity, and he takes it. Stunning for Nathan Fraser, who didn't give it up. Brighton at 6s and 7s left it for him. He still had a lot to do, but the composure to slot the ball home and restore Wolves' lead was there for the birthday boy.
Yes, definitely. Like you said, very composed finish, really good finish there from a tight angle, but he was quick to be on it now. And then obviously now we've got to be, like I say, we had the warning just after scoring, and we let Brighton back in the game. So we need to be, like I say, get a foothold into this game now, leading 2-1.
Yeah, the poor ball back by Kavanagh, and Fraser made no mistake. It was a gift. He turned 17 4 days ago. A late birthday present for Nathan Fraser. And a goal out of next to nothing as well.
Yeah, definitely, and like I say, he was quick onto it, but I was really pleased on the composure he showed, just to slot it to either side, you know, either side of the keeper.
Wolves got themselves back in front. Can they last a bit longer this time? There's only 4 minutes between Wolves taking the lead from Oliver Tipton's penalty before Brighton's eventual equaliser. Conville goes to Casper Nielsen. We'll be going through the mind of that man, Lee Kavanagh, now. Charnet's ball forwards with his own teammate, but he will pounce on the loose one. Rees couldn't hang on to it. This is Moran. And that looked a good challenge by Griffiths, and the referee agreed.
Yeah, definitely good, really good challenge. But it's us giving, you know, us giving the ball away when we've got, you know, really good possession.
McConville. This is Sturge. Duffus. And that time the referee thought Candola was a little bit too tight. This was Harvey Griffiths' challenge. It was a good one. He's made a real impact since arriving from Manchester City in August. Scored a wonderful goal away at Fulham for the under-23s before Christmas. Harvey Griffiths is an all-action midfielder. Good size on him as well. He'll be needed to try and defend this set piece, though. It's Birtwistle who heads it clear. Hinshelwood for Kashane. Now Moran onto Hinshelwood once more, and that was well positioned again by Ollie Tipton. And look at the energy of Roberts and Fraser once more. And here goes Roberts, and it needed that big challenge from McConville. Even Darren Ryan's applauding alongside me up here.
Yeah, really good. I thought the two of them really combined well there to get us up the pitch and to give us a respite, really, because, like I say, since the goal, we've let them, you know, get a little bit of dominance again. So this will take the sting out of the game and, like I say, keep us in their half.
Referee's not too happy with the amount of time Wolves have taken over a couple of set pieces and getting back after the goal. Scott Tallis wants to get the game moving. Wolves will be more than happy to slow things down from time to time, take the sting and tempo out of it, and then try and launch as Tipton finds Kito Diyawa with a lovely ball. Rees to Tipton again. Can't quite thread it through this time. Nielsen, challenged by Rees. This is Hinshelwood for Cavan. Now McConville. Sturge for McConville once more. Wolves will be fairly happy, Brighton having it along the back line here. Try and set the trap for them.
Yeah, it's like I say, we're very compact. It's just not allowing them to play through us. Like the shape is really good.
And eventually, there the pressure tells. And Rees trying to release Roberts, who needs no second invitation to set off on a charge. We'll come to Griffiths. Oh, lovely footwork from Harvey Griffiths. And a good ball to Lembakisa. Griffiths followed it up too. Again, here's Lembakisa, and the ball has gone out of play as Kito Diyawa's header was comfortably saved. But that was excellent football.
Yeah, really good football, and like we said, keeping the shape really compact, and then, like you say, regaining it and then looking to counter them. But really good footwork from Harvey. Excellent play.
Wolves with the advantage. And Sturge. Duffus looking to drive at Cam Candola, but Whistle is back there helping out and worked out nicely. Whistle can't hang on to it here though. Bishane. It's an inviting delivery and Kito Diyawa did well. It's a pat of appreciation from Justin Hubner there, and Kito Diyawa. He followed that all the way.
Yeah, really good covering. Got his cover and support to Justin and followed the run in.
Has been known as very good going forwards as a wing-back, Aaron Kito Diyawa. Yes, if there is one thing that he needs to work on a bit more in his game, it is the defensive side of it, but you could make that argument for quite a few young wing-backs in that kind of situation. Fraser's battle with McConville goes Brighton's way. It's been penalised much more than Brighton so far. You've seen that stat flash up on your screen. Bishane for Moran. Kavanagh to McConville. Emerson held off the challenge, finds Sturge. Brighton trying to be patient, but again, Wolves sensing the opportunity. It was Hubner who stepped in, and Roberts might open out for him here. Roberts still going. Now finding Fraser, and he just lost the opportunity to strike. It was there for a moment on his left foot. Maybe just didn't quite fancy it.
Yeah, I think as soon as it's played across from Tyler, I think he can potentially take it with his right foot and try and bend it into the far corner.
There's Candola trying to set Burt Whistle away. And it will be a goal kick in the end. Birtwistle needs a little bit of treatment while we see this replay of Roberts setting off, and just see the way he covers the ground so swiftly. Yeah, maybe just that first touch took it away from him.
Yeah, I think the defender actually is probably blocking that side, but like I say, an opportunity there if he could just shifted it with his one foot and then taken it early with his left foot. But great counter attack from Tyler Roberts, and that's the importance of having that. You know, with Brighton having some possession, it's keeping that compactness and that shape. You know, the distance is really tight between the lines.
Well, that was Ollie Tipton giving Wolves the lead. The equaliser from Emerson 4 minutes later. And then the mistake pounced on by Nathan Fraser. It's such a clever finish. Almost does the goalkeeper with his eyes.
Yeah, it's a really intelligent finish. Like I say, the keeper thinks he's going in the far corner and just waits for him to make that first move and then just slots it the other side of him. Really good finish from Nathan.
So, local boy, been with the club since he was, what, 7 years old? Nathan Fraser. Told he was in pretty much every day last summer doing extra work.
Yeah, he's a very committed player, and like you say, it's, you know, it's credit to the coaches, and it also Darius Vassell's, you know, coming up through his journey through the academy. Darius done a lot of work with him at under 15s, under 16s, and that relationship continues as well.
Yeah, he has an aura about him almost, where he just feels very comfortable with his physicality, with his touch. I know he probably would have thought that he should have had a couple of goals against Spurs in the last round. He was on the score sheet, I think, last time out against Liverpool.
Yeah, he scored.
U18s.
Yeah, really good finish at Liverpool. I think it was the game, the previous round here against Tottenham, when I think he had about 8 or 9 chances and didn't manage to get one of them. So it's really pleased for him that he scored in this, you know, against Brighton in this game.
Well, he got a couple of goals in a couple of games for the under-23s, one against Swansea, which was kind of credited to him, technically by me, Daz, but it was, I mean, he had an effort on goal and the defender swung his boot at it and sent it into the opposite corner. I still thought it was his goal. Duffers miscontrols. I did notice, by the way, that even Wikipedia have now credited that goal to Nathan Fraser, so he can thank me for that.
Mikey, you know what strikers are like, they'll claim anything.
Well, he did claim it, and when that was put to James Collins, the under-23 coach, after the game, the surprise in his face and voice was evidence enough that nobody else thought it was Nathan Fraser's goal. But he did legitimately score one off the bench against Birmingham in a situation that you described you wanted him to do there, with the right foot curling to the far corner. Birtwistle clattered into. Referee's playing a decent advantage here. Fraser, Kito Diyawa, Birtwistle has stayed down. Roberts to Rees, and I think eventually the referee will stop this. That was a crude looking challenge, and I think a card will be shown. Yeah, it was Jack Hinshelwood who went in with the challenge. It looked a sore one, that, Darren Ryan.
Yeah, I think, like you say, just a mistimed tackle. And to be fair to the lad, he's coming over now to see if Harry's all right. Like I say, it's just mistime. He, like I say, moved it really quick, Harry, there, to be fair. But I'm sure he'll be all right to carry on.
He's had a good year as well, Harry Birtwistle. Stepping up to the 23. He's actually started it playing right wing back, but seems to be evolving a little bit more in the forward area.
Yeah, and I think like we just spoke about, you know, development of players that can play in numerous positions. And like I say, you know, he's really good at the wing backs position, but also can play in that high 10 position.
He is very quick. Steve Davis once told me that he was as quick as Adama Traore, though you and I think probably a few of the other Academy coaches. Oh, Roberts clattered into there, and Brighton got to be careful here. There's another card coming.
It's good pressure from us, Mikey. We need to maintain this now, you know, going into half-time. Like I said, you know, committing fouls now. So really on top at the moment.
That was Elliot Jenks, I think, who made the challenge. Oh, Hubner getting involved with Kavanagh. I say he doesn't need any invitation, Justin Hubner. Kito Diawa's delivery, it was a good one. Oh, and Candola at the far post. True head in hands moment, that could have been a third. Good flight on the delivery from Aaron Kito Diawa as Lembakisa steps in. Always feel, Darren Ryan, that momentum is a big thing in games of football, and just feels like it's with Wolves in the last couple of minutes.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, you know, we're winning. The shape's really good. The transitions are really good. We're winning the ball, and we're having a bit, you know, bit of control in the game. To be fair, I think it's the first game I've probably watched where it hasn't settled down to, probably didn't settle down to about 15-20 minutes, Mikey.
Griffiths for Kito Diawa. Roberts making the run ahead of him. Two in the penalty area to aim for. This is Kito Diawa again. Lembakisa challenging. McConville came away with it, though. Presents it straight to Candola. Griffiths, oh, that's a sore one for Kashane. Kito Diawa doing well. That'll be a Wolves free kick. So there's a little edge to it as well, isn't there? It just gives it that little tantalising, fascinating element to the game. A couple of strong challenges.
Yeah, I think what at stake as well, Mikey. You know, there's a semi-final at stake. Like you say, you get into the business end of the competition then, do you know what I mean?
Well, Brighton have never been to the final in all the years that the FA Youth Cup has been going. Wolves haven't been there since the 70s. Fraser, brilliant work once more. Burt whistle. Lembakisa. Just maybe overdoing it on a touch. Kashane will win the free kick. Yeah, Wolves' last final in the FA Youth Cup was 1976. And 4 times runners-up, the only win in the competition, 1958. Normally when I'm alongside Andy Thompson, I'd ask him what it was like, but I won't do that to you, Daz, don't you worry. Here's Kavanagh. Nielsen back to Kavanagh. Brighton's turn for a little bit of possession. Maybe a few whose mind might be starting to turn towards half-time. Kito Diawa, that header went back into the dangerous area and Tipton had to deal with it, though. That's the benefit of a free kick in there. Looked like a flag should have gone up at one point. Kito Diawa maybe getting a word there from Justin Hubner to say, don't head it back into your own penalty area.
Yeah, like I say, you want to be heading it away from your goal. It's interesting to see what Brighton are doing, especially in possession. They're trying to get the overload on our wing backs, pushing the full backs and the wide players really high to overload the wing backs. So it's important that we do deal with that, and potentially, the right and left sided centre halves have to get out there
It's a good ball by Fraser, looking for Birtwistle. Again, a strong challenge by Kavanagh. Quick throw, a bit of a fortuitous bounce to Lembakisa. Wasn't afraid to just put it in there either. They've got a corner from it.
Yeah, I think they've had a couple of opportunities, you know, last 5 or 10 minutes to put a cross in, and they tried to combine and then ended up losing it. And I think Dexter's thought, you know, just to put a cross in there to see how they deal with it, and we've managed to get a corner now.
Would be a perfect time to extend the advantage. Brighton have brought everybody back in blue and white. Plenty of options in goal to aim for Kito Diawa. Came off a Brighton head. Griffiths and Candola maybe got in each other's way. Lembakisa, clever ball. Kito Diawa. Great in swinging delivery. The goalkeeper came. And Fraser was close. Not quite close enough to connecting with the follow-up. The Wolves are keeping the pressure on here. Kito Diawa, it's another good ball in, just a bit too high this time. But the delivery on some of those crosses was so inviting. And the goalkeeper came and desperately tried to get there. And it was Brighton's turn to have defenders helping out the goalkeeper.
Yeah, great quality deliveries from Aaron, and he's got that from set plays and, you know, on his crossing as well. Just a shame, you know, the second bounce didn't bounce to one of our players in the box.
Yeah, sweet delivery. There's a wonderful curl on it from Aaron Kito Diawa. Reading of the game from Tipton. Here comes Duffus. That looked like he bounced out of play, but the assistant disagreed, and this is Emerson. And Emerson finding room to shoot, but comfortable enough for Adam Bjornsson.
Yeah, got to deal with that a little bit better on the down here there. Got out too easily, and then obviously got the opportunity then by twisting inside and getting a shot away.
Tipton once more. He's a confident character, Ollie Tipton. So when Connor Cody was making a certain role his own in the first team and Christian Marquez was doing it for the 23s, Ollie Tipton was quietly going about making that role his own in the 18s, and now beginning to get more opportunities, stepping up a level. Can play in midfield as well.
Yeah, he can play, like I say, in midfield or in that middle of the back three. You know, got himself in the 18s as an under 16 as well, so he's been around the 18s now for 2-3 years.
Candola to Lembakisa. Griffiths had made the run. And clever again by Fraser. Griffiths, this is Birtwistle. Good save. Really impressive save from Tommy Reid. But again, it's all about Nathan Fraser, who didn't give that up. When everybody else stopped and watched, he was on the move, and it nearly led to a third for Wolves.
Yeah, really good play. And again, Harvey as well. You know, he didn't give it up. And then Nathan obviously sets it back, and it's a great save by the keeper. But really good play from us again.
Kito Diawa will try and whip that delivery in once more. Brighton are very deep, congested 6-yard box. It's gone all the way through. That's Candola. Griffiths with a flick on off the line by Kavanagh. Birtwistle putting it back in there. Goalkeeper again comes to punch. Candola trying to flick it up, and it wouldn't sit for him. And Wolves have come mightily close to extending their advantage right before half-time.
And another great opportunity from a set play. You know, 2 great crosses. Obviously, you could see that something that the lads had worked on. You know, the ball to the back post to Cam, and then obviously the opportunity then.
Well, I think the stadium thought it was half-time already. It's not. We're still playing. Just a little bit of musical interlude. Lembakisa. And again, good trickery And this has been a really good spell, this, from the under-18s.
Yeah, excellent. The last 5 or 10 minutes, we've got on top, and it's, this would, like you say, be a great time to get another goal just before half-time.
There's a good ball back in by Birtwistle on that last attack, and Candola, he just thought in his mind, do I hit it first time? Do I try and set it? As ever, when you're caught in two minds, that's when you create some issues. Again, Brighton have got everybody within less than 10 yards from their goal line. Huge amount of space on the edge of the penalty area. Kito Diawa will fizz it in. Oh, it could have gone anywhere. Comes back out to Kito Diawa. Hubner with the high boot, and that's the final action. Wolves with the advantage at half-time. Tyler Roberts won a penalty early on, dispatched by that man on your screen, Oliver Tipton. The captain, the penalty specialist, made no mistake. Brighton were back level a couple of minutes later. Emerson benefiting from Aaron Bjornsson, the goalkeeper, coming for a cross and not quite reaching it. But Nathan Fraser, who does not give up any ball, especially in that final third, chased onto a bad back pass and coolly slotted the ball home. And in the final 5 minutes of that first half, Wolves began to really turn the screw from set pieces especially, and you would feel, Darren Ryan, that they will be very happy with their work so far, and hopefully there are more goals to come from Steve Davis's team.
Yeah, really pleasing performance. Like I said, I think it took about 15-20 minutes for the game to settle down, and then the last 5-10 minutes we've got some control. So it's going to be important for us to start the second half how we finish the first half. But I'm sure Steve and James will be really pleased on the first half display.
The one stat in there they won't like too much is the amount of free kicks they've been conceding, and that can draw pressure on you.
Yeah, I think that was early on in the game, Mikey. I think when there was a bit, back into the game, there wasn't any control from either team, and I think there was a lot of free kicks, a lot of stoppages in play. So, like I said, we don't want to be giving free kicks, especially with some of the height that they got in their team, Brighton.
One quick word, I guess, on two of the guys up front, Tyler Roberts and Nathan Fraser. Fraser's obviously got the goal this time, where it's been Tyler in other rounds, but as a two, really, they link up really nicely. They get Wolves moving quickly, and they're a real threat.
Yeah, and they've been playing together, like I said, from under 8 level. Do you know what I mean? So they've always had that relationship of playing together, and like I say, it's been taken to the to the next level as they've come on their academy journey, and you can see the relationship. When Tyler does, obviously, when we do regain it, he gets us up the pitch. Nathan's a different type of player. He's the one we can play off and hold the ball up. But like I say, they've been excellent in the first half.
Yeah, this was superb by Tyler Roberts, by the way. That first touch, and he just has a little look, and he sees the defender coming in towards him, and he knows that challenge is going to be made. Can't quite see it from the shadows at this angle, but there is the moment where he's just clever enough to get his boot to the ball and allow Kasper Nielsen to clatter into him. Wonderful start. See, Steve's not been entirely happy all the way through. He got the penalty. Showed too much emotion. Tipton, cool as you like. Even if the goalkeeper had guessed right, he wasn't going to reach that. He loves scoring penalties. He claims to be well into double figures now.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, he does enjoy taking the penalties, and he's scored in quite a few, especially under 18s and under 23s level.
And it was his penalty that gave Wolves the advantage. There'll be more highlights for you here at half-time. We'll take a quick break, though, and we'll be back for commentary of the second half coming shortly on Wolves TV. 45 minutes away then from a FA Youth Cup semi-final. Brighton making a change at half-time. Marcus Eiffel is the player who's going to be coming on. We will get confirmation that it is Kasper Nielsen. So it looks like Elliot Jenks is going to go back in and play it right back. Marcus Eiffel ahead of him. So Wolves with the advantage from the first half. Brighton, no doubt, will try and start strongly. That was Nathan Fraser trying to make that challenge. Whether he's happy enough to keep things moving. No changes from Wolves at half-time. Here's Eiffel. Up against Hubner. Support from Kito Diawa. Not the best of setbacks there by Roberts. Hinshelwood's delivery, Candola's clearance, Kashane. There will be a sustained spell of pressure here at the start of the second half. Darren Ryan alongside me. They will have expected this, Darren.
Yeah, you're expecting obviously Brighton to come out and have a reaction from the probably the coach that's probably got into him a little bit. But like you say, we just need to keep the shape, keep compact, and like you say, weather this first bit of the second half.
Kito Diawa in with a strong challenge on Eiffel, the new man on. There's Hubner. Looking for Fraser. That'll be a Wolves ball. So Wolves with Aaron Bjornsson in goal, Cam Candola, Ollie Tipton and Justin Hubner the back three, Dexter Lembakisa and Aaron Kito Diawa the wing backs, Harvey Griffiths and Mason Rees in midfield, Harry Birtwistle, Nathan Fraser and Tyler Roberts up top. Tommy Reid is the Brighton goalkeeper. Now Elliot Jenks, Lee Kavanagh, Rory McConville and Zach Sturge, Jack Hinshelwood, Sami Kashane, Andy Moran, Marcus Eiffel, Joshua Duffus, and the striker is Zach Emerson. Steve Davis in deep discussion and thought. Have the advantage, but how do they hang on to it? That's part of the element. Do you play to hang on to it? Do you try and keep just your normal game?
No, I think, you know, we have a club philosophy, and that that will change. Yes, it's about winning a game, but you've got to win the game playing the right way. And I'm sure Steve would have told the players, like they finished the second half, first half, to try and start the second half the same.
There's James Baxter, who was on your screen, the Brighton head coach. He took over in January 2020. He originally joined the club in 2012, working from the under-7s up to the under-12s. Pathway through for young coaches. There's Eiffel. He managed to find room, and Aaron Bjornsson grabbing hold of the second attempt. So James Baxter was a former coach at Southampton at Portsmouth. I don't think he particularly had a glittering playing career. Not like yourself, Darren Ryan.
I wouldn't say glittery, Mikey.
Prince of the Welsh Leagues. Here's Lembakisa. I've seen some of your highlights, mate. Don't you worry.
Very few.
You and Sean Parrish are always keen to break out the YouTube videos. I mean, they've all had to be converted from VHS, but still they're on there somewhere.
I think they're Betamax, not VHS.
Fraser thought he should have had a foul there. Officials disagreed. It will be a Wolves throw, though. Sometimes in these games it's about time as well, and the first 5 minutes has just drifted by if you're a Brighton supporter and part of the Brighton staff. Wolves comfortable enough. Just keep ticking off those markers. Aaron Bjornsson didn't get as much on that as he would have hoped to. Hubner helped him out. Mason Rees forwards. Fraser, such a great physical presence. Kito Diyawa. Couldn't hang on to it. Eiffel. Look who's chasing him back. It's Nathan Fraser again. He is all action, isn't he?
Yes, like I say, he's great work rate to get back, but you know, we've got to do better in keeping the ball, especially down this left-hand side. We give it away cheaply, and then, like I say, Nathan recovers really well, but obviously gives the foul away, but lets us get back in our shape.
Offside flag has gone up here. No, referee's waving it away. And it was Moran who continued on. Duffus. Well, that was unusual. Conversation between the referee and his assistant. Flag was raised. Referee wagged his finger. And Moran continued on. Wolves got to stand firm from the set piece. Good in-swinging delivery, Candola's clearance. Mason Rees was brave there, and he will get the free kick. Didn't see too much of him in the first half, Mason Rees.
No, I think Mason's a player that, you know, obviously sits alongside Harvey. You know, breaks play up, just keeps things ticking over, where Harvey's, you know, is left then to go and get involved, you know, higher up the pitch, but, you know, really still an important player for the team. Bit of a strange decision on the offside there, Mikey. I've never seen a ref overrule the linesman on an offside.
Mason Rees is the youngest of this starting lineup, the only one who's still 16. Tipton for Roberts. Well, we will see Rees again in this competition in the coming years. For many of this group, this is their final opportunity to make a name for themselves. Goalkeeper let that bounce an awful long way towards his goal line.
Pretty confident. We've just got to keep the ball. I mean, you know, we're forcing things at the moment. Just need to settle down in the second half.
With this strong challenge, Kavanagh. Andy Moran trying to get in behind for Emerson, and Hubner got the clearance, and Aaron Bjornsson had come again, didn't he? Communication there, maybe a bit of trust too, just allow his defenders to deal with it. We see the replay of Mason Rees's ball in, and yeah, the goalkeeper, wow, that's a bounce an awful long way close to his goal line. He'd taken his eye off it. Hinshelwood's ball in. Griffiths with the header. Brighton trying to turn the screw as much as they possibly can. Wolves to try and stand firm. Hinshelwood looking for Eiffel. Quito Diawa read it well. Chase on, Lembakisa. Oh, he hesitated for a moment. He's going to get the goal kick though. Got a bit fortunate there maybe.
Yeah, I think he thought it was going to run out for a throw-in, but like I said, I think he, recovered really well. But you can see James and Steve telling us as a team to push up, because I think, like you say, we're dropping deep, especially when Brighton have got the ball.
Hubner's ball looking for Fraser. Quite know where it had gone, and the support wasn't really too close to him. Is it a player's natural inclination, Darren Ryan, to, when you have a lead, just to start to sit back a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's hard. You don't want to be defending a goal lead really. For 40 minutes. We've got to get higher up the pitch. It's like you said then, the ball goes long, but there's no support into Nathan Fraser. We've got to get back to playing through the lines. But if we are going to miss the press out, we've got to get players in support of Nathan.
This is Jenks. Kavanagh for McConville. And Zach Sturge. Hinshelwood. Looking straight towards Eiffel. Quito Diawa to Hubner. Had a bit more time than he realised there. Reese fizzed it at Tyler Roberts, and Wolves have just lost that little edge at the moment.
Yeah, Brighton have started this second half, the better team. We just need to stay compact, stay in our shape, push up the pitch when they do go back, and try and get a foothold back into the game.
Away by Hubner. Moran. Emerson was trying to get in behind. That was a vital interception by Quito Diawa. And Bjornsson away. Fraser giving chase. Oh, he's going to get himself a yellow card here, Nathan Fraser, rather unnecessarily, for kicking the ball away after it had gone out of the play. Didn't need to do that. Maybe a slight example, Darren Ryan, of just where the Wolves players' mindsets are at the minute. It's not quite on the money where they need to be. Candola's gone chasing, got the tackle in the end.
Yeah, I totally agree, Mikey. Unnecessary booking from Nathan there. Like I say, we've just got to get our composure, back now into this game.
Sturge approaching the hour mark. Still leading. It's a better spell from Brighton. And they will start to commit more numbers forwards and put more pressure on this Wolves defensive line. Jenks to Kavanagh and back. And Hinshelwood with the run, and Candola was there. It will be a Brighton corner. Runners breaking from midfield, always difficult to track. Hinshelwood will take the corner. Out swinging delivery. Candola took responsibility. Put back in, Duffus trying to strike it, and away by Quito Diawa. Roberts. Oh, lovely stuff. Good advantage played. Griffiths, Fraser to his right, Birtwistle to his left. Lembakisa in support as well. This is Nathan Fraser. Sturge just held him up long enough. Lembakisa to Griffiths. Now Fraser. Not too many numbers in the penalty area just yet. And he's done well to win the corner.
Yeah, good to take the pressure off there. Really good play there by Tyler Roberts, setting us on the counter. And then, like I say, we got some bodies up.
Can Wolves find a third here, just to give themselves a little bit of a cushion? Quito Diawa will take it. He's had some good deliveries so far, caused some issues. Again, Brighton congesting the 6-yard area. Will come out to Lembakisa. A little bit of a miscontrol, but well, he tried to fizz it back out to Quito Diawa, who I think was expecting a more direct pass than into the space.
Yeah, not a great pass from Dexter. We needed to keep the pressure on there. I think we've let Brighton off the hook. You know, a spell where we could have kept them up in their half. We need to now keep the pressure on them and really keep a high line.
Brighton were trying to steal about 15 yards there off that throw. Dexter's been sent backwards. If the ball had gone out where he was claiming it was, he would have been straight to Quito Diawa. There's Mason Rees. Tipton to Hubner. Oh, slowing the play. Keep hold of possession, draw Brighton out of their shape. Candola did well. Birtwistle will get the throw. I know you were talking to a few at half-time, Darren, about the way Brighton have been pressing and seeing if Wolves trying to see if they can get those wing-backs a bit higher up and create the overloads that way.
Yeah, you know, in and out of possession. Like I say, you know, Brighton are pushing their full-backs on and pushing the wide players on, and you know, creating the overloads against our wing-backs. So it's important that our wing-backs do start higher, and then our outside centre-backs do come across then.
Mason Rees couldn't quite control. Griffiths tidying things up. Tipton trying the diagonal for Lembakisa. Just a heavy touch. It was a really good ball by Tipton. Lembakisa out of position for the time being, trying to get back. Sturge, high hanging delivery. Eiffel leaving it for Jenks. Foot in by Roberts. Quito Diawa trying to get it away. Well, that's going to be giving us a Brighton throw. I think that should have been gone Wolves' way. Here is McConville. Now Kavanagh. Jenks taking over. Hinshelwood trying to switch the play. Sturge. Birtwistle trying to get tight to his opposite number, Duffus. He did well, actually, Birtwistle and Fraser. Well, they were leaving it for each other. And they've just about come away with it, but Roberts is really frustrated on the near side because he'd made a brilliant run. Here's Fraser. Looking around, needing some support now as he heads towards the corner. And that's going to be a Brighton throw. We talked in the first half, Darren Ryan, about communication and about players taking that responsibility and taking it on themselves. Clear example there of Birtwistle and Fraser leaving it to each other. One of them had to get the ball.
Yeah, I totally agree, because we had like Tyler Roberts, you know, breaking forward on the left-hand side here. Just going back to your point about Brighton committing players, you know, they get the switch of play, and they have 5 players in the box looking for the cross. So they are now starting to commit players, and you know it's going to be an opportunity then to get it right on the counter-attack.
This is Hinshelwood. I feel he's going to be offside right in front of the assistant referee down below us. Looks pretty narrow and tight from that angle. There's Hubner. And always when you get into these situations, when the nerves start to build, the clock starts to feel like it's going a hell of a lot slower. It's going to be a Brighton free kick. Steve Davis, plenty of people in his ear. Assistant James McPike. Scott Sellers was down there a moment or two ago. Always lots of discussions, always lots of ideas. It's not easy being the man that's got to try and make semblance of it all.
No, definitely, and probably be thinking now how can we get a foothold back in this game. Like you say, the momentum at the moment is with Brighton, and they'll be looking at ways, formation-wise, to try and get, a foothold in this game.
Hinshelwood. It's good pressure applied by Roberts. And Fraser forcing rather aimless ball forwards. That'll do for Wolves for the time being. Mason Rees. Need to be a bit more careful with the ball forwards. Kashane. Good challenge. Good tackle from Griffiths. Runners either side. This all just a bit heavy to set Roberts away. Lembakisa and Fraser are waiting for a potential delivery. Rees. Kito Diawa. That'll be a throw. Didn't quite time that pass right there, Harvey Griffiths.
Yeah, it was a little bit, too wide of him. If he could put it into his, like I say, the detail of the pass into his path, he's in on goal there. But like I say, these are the opportunities when we do get the chance to counter that we've got to take.
Fraser to Kito Diawa. He's trying to pick out Burt Whistle. Gets another chance. Burt Whistle. Strong run, good area, couldn't quite squeeze it through. Fraser with a follow-up, Griffiths to finish it into the bottom corner, and Wolves have got themselves a third, extending their advantage in the FA Youth Cup quarter-final at Molineux. Burt Whistle's initial effort, Fraser with a follow-up, Griffiths made absolutely sure.
Yeah, brilliant response, and I thought Harry Burt Whistle done really well there. Got himself, bundled his way inside the box, like I say, got the shot away, then deflected then from Nathan Fraser, and then Harvey as a midfield player, getting yourself in the box for the rebound and finishing it really well.
Super midfield play, reading the situation, make sure you are there, right place, right time is a wonderful habit to build, and Harvey Griffiths has given his team truly something to protect now. They are 20 minutes away from an FA Youth Cup semi-final. Don't let Brighton back in.
No, this is now where you got to really keep the momentum going, really control the game now for the last 20 minutes. They're in a fantastic situation now in this game, and like I said, not to give Brighton anything.
Kashane. Oh, Fraser, super stuff. He's won it back again. He's got Roberts flying up in support. Just sent a little bit wider than he wanted to be there. Lembakisa switching it for Kito Diawa. A fourth goal really would finish it off. Hubner. Now Quito Diawa. Oh, that's delicious ball in. Just a little push maybe by Fraser. Had that fallen to a Wolves man, I think it would have been pulled back. He's got a sweet left foot, Quito Diawa, he really has. Fraser used the run of Birtwistle, finds Rees. There's a swagger about Wolves now. Here's Birtwistle. On again, trying to force his way through. Mason Rees. Fraser to Quito Diawa. All clever. Fraser. He fancied having a go. Swerved. Difficult to deal with. It's a Wolves corner.
You can see the confidence now. They've got the third goal, and like you know, we go on about football, about momentum, and the momentum's now switched now to us. So we need to keep this going now in the last 20 minutes.
Fraser just down in the penalty area. That's the one semblance of concern right now, as he will need a little bit of treatment. This is a pause in the game. Talk to me about Aaron Quito Diawa. Darren Ryan, you've worked with these boys across the age groups and all the roles that you do now. And he's a player that he hasn't had too many opportunities with the 23s. He's started to make that kind of step up. He's obviously been behind the likes of Hugo Bueno, people will have seen, Lewis Richards been involved in that, and of course Dexter Lembakisa playing in what seems to be Aaron's more natural role on the left-hand side rather than the right. He could have a big opportunity now to make that step to the 23s.
Yeah, you know, we got Aaron from Fulham, and obviously joined the programme, you know, to come in as a scholar, and he, like I say, he's developed over the last 2 years. Has been excellent, really good learner, and wants to improve. You know, the opportunity now with all the second years that they're training with James and Sean with the under 23s, and I'm sure he'll get, you know, opportunities now to play, you know, to play it in the 23s. But like I say, left-sided player, you know, has played, you know, coming from Fulham, and he could play left wing or left back. You know, we've obviously looked at him as a left wing back, and he's adapted his game over the last couple of years.
Look at that for Nathan Fraser as well. 3 shots, all of them on target, 1 goal. Can't ask too much more from your striker than that. Just temporarily off the field. Quito Diawa's ball in. Goalkeeper didn't fully deal with it. Fraser's back on the field as Birtwistle decides what to do. Switches back out to Quito Diawa. Griffiths is heading over in support. He whipped it in. Taken by the keeper. There's going to be another Brighton change coming up shortly. Benicio Baker Boati is going to be coming on. In the meantime, this is Elliot Jenks. Duffus. Sturge on the overlap. Candola, right place to clear. It's Elliot Jenks who's being replaced. He was on a yellow card.
See now that, you know, Brighton are committing a lot of players forward. Again, ball going in the box, 5 players in the box. So, you know, it is an opportunity for us, especially on, you know, on the counter attack.
This is Duffus up against Lembakisa. Roberts back there helping out. Roberts might fancy a bit of a charge. Fraser. Roberts has continued on ahead of him. He'll settle for having the throw. When Steve Davis might go to his bench. A couple of options in and around it. Owen Farmer as a forward player could come on at any point. There are strong midfielders on that bench as well. If he wants to pack it out a little bit more, a little bit of added protection. Fraser was offside. So we didn't have the likes of Temple Ojanaka in the last game.
Yeah, it's an option, especially in that midfield, especially with Mason. But he looks to be coping, really well at the moment, Mason. But like I said, we've got options on the bench. Owen Farmer, Josh Essen, Akeem as well. So plenty of options if Steve needs to change it, and players, tiring as well.
Yeah, he's been more involved in the game second half, hasn't he, Mason Rees? A bit quiet in the first period. He's one of those players who seems to read it quite well. Look at Tyler Roberts again, the tenacity and setting off, and that'll be another free kick. It's those kind of moments that takes Wolves down the field of play. Buys a bit of time too. Very clever from Tyler Roberts. Quarter of an hour remaining. Wolves with 2-goal cushion. They see it through. They'll face Manchester United at Old Trafford in the semi-finals. Nobody's taking anything for granted just yet. That's a goal kick off Burt Whistle. This is good for a player's development as well, isn't it? Seeing that element of being in this kind of game. It's something really, truly riding on it. It's not always there.
No, definitely. You put under different pressure. Massive opportunity to get to the semi-final.
Here's Eiffel. Good strong run, ball had gone out of play anyway. Fall up against Burt Whistle, trying to be back there hanging out. I think the ball quite gone fully out there. It's a little bit harsh on Brighton. See, I'm not always completely biased down the line.
I thought it was out, Mikey.
McConville. Baker Boati. Offside flag up against Duffus. And Oliver Tipton's now down on the edge of the penalty area, needing a bit of treatment. Just on the right of your picture. Wouldn't want to lose the captain at this stage of such a big game. As we see his penalty again. That was the equaliser. Came 4 minutes later. And the mistake that Fraser pounced on. And then this was Harvey Griffiths blasting home Wolves' third. Look what it meant to Steve Davis that time. There was almost no response when Wolves got the penalty in the first goal. He was responding there.
Oh, great response from Steve. Especially as well, the experience he's managed that, with Crewe, and obviously managing him at Wembley as well. So you see how much it means to him. To get, to finish the job off and get into the semi-finals.
And a good playing career himself as well, didn't he, Steve Davis? He was part of the Burnley team that played against Wolves in the Sherpa Van final back in the 80s. Barely changed.
He always goes on about that, how he might bully out the game.
Here's Eiffel. Well dealt with by Candola. Got himself into a good position again, Candola. He is, well, Brighton have tried to take it quickly and got themselves into a bit of a mix-up. Pull it back. Hinshelwood with the delivery. Oh, Aaron Bjornsson came and Griffiths in front of him. Referee has already stopped the play for a collision off the ball. Aaron Bjornsson made the decision to come. He's had a difficult afternoon, really. That is Owen Farmer about to come on, forward player.
Substitution for Wolves, replacing number 9, Nathan Fraser.
What do you made of Nathan Fraser's contribution today?
Been excellent, you know, led the line really well, like I said, and has been a right nuisance for the Brighton back line. And like you said, I think he's run himself into the ground and probably needing that last 10-minute rest now.
Owen Farmer is on. He's a different type of forward, isn't he, Owen?
Yes, he can still link it. He uses his body really well, Owen. So, like I say, you know, really runs the channels as well. But I'm sure it'll be, you know, great opportunity for him now to come on in this game.
4 goals in the Under-18 Premier League this season for Owen Farmer. There's another relatively local lad. He's from Solihull, like me. There's Kavanagh. I feel allowed to get in behind by Kito Diawa, and he just couldn't quite pick out Moran, thankfully. That's a warning sign. Griffiths slipping. Interception by Candola. He's had a really good second half. Griffiths for Roberts. Can Wolves hit on the counter? Roberts has carried the ball a long way. A little bit isolated now. And he was trying to get a little touch from a Brighton defender that didn't quite work out.
He's got to try and do a bit better there, Tyler, because I think, like I say, Owen Farmer and Harry Birtwhistle were breaking with him. But there's a warning, just a ball in behind Aaron, don't deal with it, and they get an opportunity. Need to, you know, to defend them balls in behind our wing backs better.
Yeah, don't switch off now in the final 8 minutes of normal time. And Sturge, again, Candola defending really well. He's repelling everything that comes near him at the moment. And Tyler Roberts is now down with a bit of a problem. And the Wolves medical staff are being kept busy. Say he has had a little bit of injury concerns in the last couple of weeks, Tyler Roberts. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. You see, plenty of people have turned up to lend their support. Even some have made a relatively long journey. In swinging delivery, Aaron Bjornsson got something to it. Oh, well read. And the break on here for Rees. He gets the free kick as well. Super stuff for Mason Rees.
Yeah, really good play there by Mason. You know, gets us up the pitch, takes this thing out of the game. Like I say, you know, for a 16-year-old, he's kept going. Like I say, we just need to see the last 10 minutes out now.
was a card in there for Benicio Baker-Borty. Farmer. Well, I don't know how the referee can look at that and give a free kick against Owen Farmer and continue to battle on the floor there with Kavanagh. He had a great big centre half land on top of him. And they've both got a grip of each other. He's got a firm grip of Farmer's shirt and falls on top of him. And Farmer looks up and finds out the free kick was given the other way.
Another strange decision from the referee there, Mikey, I think.
It's not easy being a tricky forward when you're against a centre half near double your size. Last 5 minutes then. One more big push needed. Through ball, Aaron Bjornsson was out and alert to it that time. It's a good distance on that kick. Kavanagh heading home. Brighton eventually will have to commit even more bodies forwards. Start to get a little bit more direct maybe. Wolves effectively in a bank of 5 and a bank of 4, protecting what they have. And Bakisa closing down. Sturge. Roberts again getting involved. Deep ball in. Keto Diawa won it. Reese with a second clearing header. Eiffel. Being tracked by Birtwistle. Eiffel. Support from Moran. And that's good work by Harry Birtwistle. Snuffed him out there, Darren Ryan.
Yeah, really good defending there. You know, they forced him out on the outside and really defended the wide area really well there, Harry. And like you said, that, you know, we look as though we're dropping into like a 5 and really be 5-4-1 to be really compact now and see the last few minutes out of this game.
Another Wolves throw. Then Bakisa wait up a bit of time, finding Griffiths. Intercepted by Kashane. Emerson. Had a little wild swing there at Dexter Lembakisa, and Cam Candola didn't like it. Quite a few of the Wolves players didn't like it. They've got to keep their heads here. Stay calm, don't get involved in any nonsense. Tempers are flaring. And a yellow card for Emerson. He just had a bit of a wild swing, a necessary kick at Dexter Lembakisa. And his Wolves teammates did not like that. And they are the Wolfpack for a reason.
Yeah, it showed, you know, togetherness, and I think that's, you know, massive in this, you know, in this team. It is a bit of a kick out. Surprised, to be fair, it was just a yellow.
Yellow card for Cam Candola, I think, there as well. Scott Tallis was looking round. Candola was the first one over to Emerson. He's been the man punished. But he was not having any of that. Meantime, at the other end, Tyler Roberts takes a tumble. It will be a Brighton goal kick. Steins gets that stage where think about a potential man of the match, Darren Ryan, and as the fourth official gets the board ready, I'll give you a moment or two to have a think about who's really impressed you today. As Owen Farmer goes chasing on in towards the corner. It's a clever ball to Griffiths, all on his own. And you could see what he was trying to do. There's no intention there from Wolves just to head to the corner and try and buy some time. Seven minutes is being added on. I mean, there's been some injuries, but 7 minutes is a remarkable amount of time to add on at the end of the game.
He must be enjoying himself too much, the referee, Mikey.
Hinshelwood's ball forwards. Well, that'll give Brighton some hope. Wolves thought they were nearly there. Roberts onto Farmer. Well, Roberts was caught really late. And Kashane, who has lived on the edge a couple of times, finds his way into the referee's notebook. There's just always been that little bit of an undercurrent to it. That's what's made it a fascinating watch as well. It's been competitive.
Yeah, and I think Steve and James expected it. A really physical game, and it has been. But, we've done really well. To stand up to it, to compete, and that's what this team give you, as well as being really good footballing team and good individuals. They can compete.
Roberts, well, they're trying to show him towards goal in a strange way there by Rory McConville. I don't think he quite realised just how open that route was through there, Tyler Roberts.
Totally agree. He could have gone straight for goal.
But we're still trying to challenge. Say 7 minutes being added on then. 5 to go of that. Brighton trying to push more forwards. Time to gamble. Maybe chance for Wolves to hit on the counter, but whistle. Still running. Cross came Kashane. Offside flag surely will go up against Emerson. No, it stayed down. Good run from the Brighton forward, Eiffel. It's going to come through to Moran. Trying to find room to shoot, blocked by his own man, Hinshelwood. In the wrong place there, the Brighton midfielder. Kito Diyawa has an issue now. Wolves will make a change shortly. In the meantime, they're trying to keep Brighton down the other end. Marvin Coletta is the man being prepared. I think that would be a relatively like-for-like change with Kito Diyawa, who's clearly struggling in the minute, Darren Ryan.
Yeah, I think cramps set in there. So potentially Dexter might come to the left side and Marvin go to the right side. But it'd be interesting if Steve keeps Marvin on the left side.
They can barely move, Aaron Kito Diyawa. He's got to now because he spotted Eiffel was trying to make a run through the middle. And look at the desire of Arankito Diawa playing through the pain there, making sure that ball was his. He didn't want it back from Birtwistle. I think there's a wry smile on his face as Aaron Bjornsson blasted that downfield. Wolves need the ball to go out so they can make this change. Clever by Mason Rees though. Hubner for Griffiths. And Griffiths using every bit of energy he's got, and Moran taking a tumble. And a yellow card for Harvey Griffiths. Make that 8 yellows in the game. Kito Diawa goes off, and I think you're right, Darren. Lembakisa to the left-hand side, Coletta to the right. Two more minutes to play as a minimum. Lembakisa with a clearing header. Birtwistle. Lembakisa settling for the throw. Could have gone backwards, but pressure would have been applied to Hubner. No need to go back in that situation.
No, like I say, it gets us still where we want to be up the pitch, not backwards, like you said, Mikey.
Birtwistle penalised. They are on the verge. They know they're nearly there. Brighton, one last big push. Set piece opportunity. Big boys going forwards from the back. Goalkeeper to try and launch it. Difficult, Hinshelwood. Coletta got in there, and Coletta wins the free kick. And that may just be enough. Surely they can't be adding too much more time on.
No, I think, like I say, I think, you know, we weathered the storm just after the second half, and I thought that, you know, the back three and back five have been excellent. For the amount of possession they had, Brighton, at the start of the second half, they didn't really create a lot of chances against us. And then obviously I think the third goal has really killed the game.
All eyes on the officials. Tyler Roberts, oh, he's got himself in trouble. And a yellow. Yet another yellow. Maybe just taking one for the team there. And still we play on at Molineux. Big high ball forwards. Candola trying to get there. And there was a hand in, so still play on, but Wolves with a chance to clear their lines. Do you ever think about man of the match?
There's been some really good performances out there today, but you know, it's got to be one of the back three for me. And you know, for where its clearance is, I'm going to give it Cam Candola.
Well, Cam Candola and his teammates can celebrate because Wolverhampton Wanderers are into the FA Youth Cup semi-finals for the first time since 2005. A quite brilliant performance here at Molineux this afternoon. Ollie Tipton, Nathan Fraser, Harvey Griffiths with the goals, but some strong performances all round, and this entertaining and exciting group of young players making their way through in the game have performed admirably to take Wolves to a level we have not been in 17 years. Manchester United await in the semi-final at Old Trafford. It will be a huge occasion, but they will have plenty to go through before they get to that. The build-up will begin soon enough. But the story of the game, you look at those stats, Wolves very much deserved their win.
Yeah, deserved victory, and you know, really polished performance from our 18s. Like I say, I thought they weathered the storm just after the, you know, in the beginning of the second half, but never really created anything, and that was down to the, you know, the back three and the back five as a unit, and the midfield too. I thought they were excellent today again, and like you said, it's on to Man United now at Old Trafford. What a great experience that's going to be for them.
I think there was a good couple of thousand there, weren't there, for Manchester United's last game against Leicester, their quarter-final. The big element as well, Darren Ryan, is that if they are to beat Manchester United, the final would be here at Molineux.
Oh, it's a great incentive now, but you know, they'll be looking forward, they'll be taking, like we keep saying, game by game, and then they'll be looking ahead now to the Manchester United game, which, like you say, I think there was 10,500 there for their quarter-final game on Thursday against Leicester, so it'd be a great experience to play at Old Trafford in front of a really big crowd.
They had their moments, they had good opportunities. Nathan Fraser, Tyler Roberts had very good games up top. The way Fraser took his goal was absolutely splendid. But this was the key moment, the third goal that gave them the cushion. Burt Whistle and Fraser, and then Griffiths following it in. And from that moment on, you felt like it was completely in Wolves' hands, completely in their control, and they never really looked like losing the advantage that they'd worked so hard to give themselves.
Oh, it's really persistent play by Harry as well, and then the follow-up, and then your midfield player in and around that box for anything that drops, and it's a great finish by Harvey, who I thought was excellent again today.
Many of this team were humbled by Norwich in the third round last season at St George's Park. I remember Justin Hubner scoring late to get it back to 4-2, but they were taken apart at times in that game. They have come back strongly, and now they've got themselves to a level that some really talented groups of young players have not got to in a long time.
No, it's great, and that's the experience, you know. It gives you an opportunity, the FA Youth Cup, the biggest cup competition for an under-18 level, you know, a 2-year opportunity, and they would have learned from that experience last season, and now they've taken it on to this season, and they find themselves, you know, with a massive opportunity in the semi-final against Manchester United.
You fancy them? Final thought against Manchester United in Old Trafford?
Yeah, I do. I think I think they're a really competitive group and a confident group, and that, you know, they see themselves as winning this cup competition, and you know, you've got to have aspirations of winning this cup competition.
Darren Ryan, thank you very much indeed for being with us. I will let you go and join in some of the celebrations, and no doubt you'll be part of the coaching staff working hard to prepare these players for that semi-final. Thank you very much for being with us on Wolves TV this afternoon. What a result then, what a performance, what a season it's turning out to be for so many of these players, many of whom are playing regularly a level up at the under-23s, back amongst their counterparts of the same age group. They are getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and they are making a name for themselves in their own right. They've beaten Brighton, they're into the FA Youth Cup semi-finals. What an occasion that should sure to be.